Welcome, everybody, to this week's Capsule Cast. I am your host, Destiny, with my co-host here, Fathappy. Please say hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Pleasure to
And,
be here.
and today we have the qualifiers, round 1 to 3. Yes, we are back after technically 2-week break. Because just why not get all the matches done instead of having 4 matches, instead of having just 4 matches to do one time and 4 matches to do the next time.
Yeah, we could talk about each of the what's it called? The matchups in bulk,
Yeah,
instead of having the individual rounds. We get to talk about how the teams did against each other overall.
But speaking of, how's your day, Fathappy?
Oh, my day's been pretty good. It is Halloween. It is Spooktober.
Actually, the end of Spooktober for most
people. True.
But
well, technically, it only gets spooky on this one day.
yes, that's true. I am prepared to see a lot of trick-or-treaters outside and yell at them like I'm an old fucking man.
I do not expect a single trick-or-treater where I'm at, so
that is fair, but that's fair. But yeah, with that, we wish you all a happy Halloween and a happy rest of your October. But with that, I'm moving on to now I guess this the spooky cast.
Let's get on with the spooky cast. Moving on to the first match, or the first matchup.
We have Derp and Muscle, and I just I don't remember the first match quite as. Oh wait, no, I remember the first match quite a bit. Yamcha absolutely carried Derp that first match.
I don't recall the first match very well either. I do recall Yamcha doing very well.
Yeah, Yamcha was doing extremely well that first match. I think Doria didn't do bad either, and Broly on Muscle's side was also doing pretty well.
But yeah, after the first match, I believe it was Derp who took the first round.
Derp took the
first
round.
Them to 0-1, or 1-0 rather.
Yep, and then the next match a week later, we have Muscle taking it in a pretty dominant win in that second round there. It's just sad, that they couldn't keep it up the third round. Trunks got them a good start, but 13 and Bojack couldn't really hold down the fort for Muscle.
Yeah, I believe in the second round, where Muscle one-handedly, they basically had 13 at full health by the end of that match, and all of their members alive almost.
I believe the only member that was dead was Broly.
Yeah, I think Broly died, but he was the only one. But then Dirk did manage to bring it back in the final round, I believe. I believe Frost actually didn't do very well, but the rest of the team managed to especially Yamcha again. I think he really managed to outperform compared to his usual.
Actually, also a big surprise in that third round was 21. She was doing extremely well when hitting her photon waves for about 10k. She basically brought the match back to even because Frost did maybe a bar or less than a bar to Trunks in the third outing, unlike he did in the second one, which was about them going back and forth.
True. Trunks basically took out Frost, or almost. I can't remember if Frost tagged or not. But then 21 came in, swept through Trunks, swept through Broly, and then did a little bit to Bojack, I believe.
Actually, I'm pretty sure 21 was against 13.
Was it against 13? It might have been.
I'm pretty sure she was against 13, and while she may have died, by that point 13 was basically on the ropes. He did use He did use a high tension, which I don't remember who he was against, but the opponent he was against did not bump out of it, so he could not go to Super 13 in time before he died. And yes, Frost did tag round 3, because the only people that died, I believe, were 21.
But yeah, overall, good matches. Like we had two very, like at least here in the round 2 and 3, like very polarizing matches with like Muscle having a bit of a stomp in round 2, and then Derp to a certain extent bringing it back with their own stomp in round 3. So clearly these teams pretty evenly matched. Congratulations to Derp. It's called, but it is Team Derp. Like whenever Derp gets far, it's always nice to see. I mean, we all know that Muscle has a reputation as one of the villains, along with my own Team Royals, for getting into the bowl and the playoffs way too often.
They're normally one of the playoff kings, as you would say.
Yes. But still, they tried their best to like maintain that reputation, but at this time they were knocked out.
Now, I would say, if this team was in SparkingZero, Broly and Bojack would be better because Capsule is a lot better.
Well, funnily enough, 13 would also be a lot better.
That too.
Yes. Also, Raccoon also. I don't know. I feel like the whole team would be better.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Team Derp, half their characters currently don't exist. So
they'll find a way. Yeah. They'll find a way.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, but
life finds a way.
But yeah, congratulations, Derp, for knocking out one of the most terrifying playoff teams. I know it's usually them that normally, if Muscle are knocked out of playoffs and don't get to the bowl, it's normally Derp that's the reason why. So Derp keeping up that the Muscle killing streak,
You know what? That's true. But yeah, Muscle, usually a terrifying team. I'm personally quite happy that they're no longer in the playoffs. Derp also, however, have proven to be equally terrifying, so we'll see how it goes.
Honestly, a lot of these teams have been proven to be terrifying this year. So
this has been a very strong season for all the teams that made it to playoffs.
With that, shall we get going to the next bunch?
Yeah, let's move on to the next set of matches.
All right. Next, we have Edie and GT, and this is actually the closest match bunch we had. It's because Edie and GT kinda was close round 1. I know it was mostly back and forth round 1, and like 1 or 2 ults not hitting or being used basically cost them the match. But then
I don't remember much about round 1, I must admit.
That is the weakness of doing it a week later.
Yes.
But round 2 though, GT in round 2. Oh baby. Literally.
I do recall GT in round 2 just absolutely demolishing.
They the only character that I believe died was SSJ4.
And I believe that the Sim especially had an incredible performance in that round.
Yes. Sadly, did not show back up in round 3, which was back on Edie's home map and into the loving embrace of defeat. But they did get it really, really close.
This is our first match that was down to the wire.
It was our only match that went to the 3rd round that was down to the wire.
Yeah.
What is it? Basically, it was at the end. It was Super 17 and TN, and it was down to about like a 3k health difference at the end.
Yeah, like when the match ended, like I think Tien probably had like 4,000 health left.
Yeah,
so it was really close.
It basically came down to a full melee combo plus like a B2. So
yeah, I will say I believe during this match, like I'm almost surprised that it ended up going in ED's favor, because if I recall correctly, Cell hit a ton of grabs, or am I misremembering?
He was hitting a ton of grabs, I believe, in. I'm pretty sure.
Was it the very beginning?
It was in the beginning against I don't know who, but the main reason it went in ED's favor is because Baby's on Demonic Bargain, and he got tagged by a Mr. Boo. As soon as he came in, he got tagged by a Mr. Boo.
He lost almost all his HP as soon as he hit the field, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
But though to be fair, considering ED has not been the best performing team so far, because I know Mid-Q has certainly fallen off since All Stars. We didn't get any aftermiss strikes from Krillin in round 3, which was surprising. Nor round 2 either. And then it was really off of the back of Hercule and Tien for this last match, but GT certainly was looking better considering how they didn't get a win since All Stars. And their team has been really looking on the down low since then as well. But to then, go into playoffs and bring it within a 4k health difference really shows the work they put in to get their members working. And I mean, we already know which teams are testing, obviously, if you've been in Discord and all that. So GT doesn't have Cell now, so that means they have access to Eternal Life again.
This is true. I think these were some good matches. We love a close match.
Yes.
I think the ideal for the league is when the matches really get down to the wire. That's when everyone is at the edge of their seat. This was like, of all the ways to go out, going out on damn, that was a good fight, always feels nice in my opinion.
Yeah, always going out and being able to say, well, GG, it was close.
It was close. Everyone tried their best. So congratulations to ED and
when it's close, it's always easy to nitpick if so and so happened, maybe you would have won, but honestly, a good old fashioned GG's.
Yes. So it was an excellent match. Good to watch.
Yeah. Good luck, ED. You'll certainly need it, along with most of us.
that sounded like a threat.
No.
ED, you'll need it.
I mean, if you're looking at the next week's matches, a lot of people will need it.
You know what? You're not entirely wrong.
Yeah, good luck, ED, and you know what? Better luck next time, GT. I believe in your team. All right.
Shall we move on?
Yep. Next we have my team and Cold. And you know what? How about you start off with what you remember from this match, at least from these bunch of matches?
I will say I remember your team doing extremely well. Obviously, since Cold sadly lost. What's it called? I believe that Frieza did unusually badly. Like he got taken out. But who was it on your team?
Round one, Frieza went through all of his transformations, except his 100%, which doesn't heal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically Foster who had to take most of Frieza's beating, sadly. But she did tag into Garlic, who then took out Frieza in that match. And in round 2, Vegeta was just ult happy. Frieza didn't even get to transform.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where like a lot of Cold's eggs this season were in the basket called transforming for Frieza especially, and sadly all the eggs cracked on that last match. You know, like Vegeta already decided that he wanted to bake a cake today and he needed some eggs. So it's unfortunate it happens sometimes. Cold, in my opinion, is a really, really strong team. So I find it very impressive that you guys took them out 2-0.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, no, I was impressed too. But I think the biggest things with Cold have been there wasn't really a starter for them that could face Janemba because Janemba was our starter both matches.
Yeah.
Hold on. But yeah, no, Janemba on this melee build has been really, really dominant for some reason. And then, from what I know is, Frieza has been a bit of a problem for them recently. And then, Cooler has been a really big problem for them.
It's one of those interesting things where like the way they have their builds, they are restricted from like EL, I believe, right?
Yes, because they have all
an incredible amount of HP transformations.
Yeah, they have all of Frieza's transformations plus Cooler being able to transform. Now, if only one of them could have that health transformation, it'd only be restricted on them.
It's also like whenever you rely on a like I care like Frieza, I think he's done really well this season actually.
He's in top 5, but it's but
it's one of those things where his build is somewhat inconsistent because you never know what form he's going to end up spending the most time in. Well, obviously he's going to spend the most time in first form, presumably, but
a lot of times
like his gameplay changes a lot from match to match.
A lot of the time this season, from what it looked like, at least from an outside perspective, is he spent the most time in second form.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because usually he gets at least one transformation off, but it's hard to get off the rest of them. So,
I will say,
I find this Frieza build very fun to watch, at least.
Yeah, no, it is fun to watch. It's not fun to fight. It's not fun to fight. That's it. To be honest, having Frieza transform all the time really slows down the match sometimes.
Oh, you mean like beating your head against a brick wall called Frieza with like 60,000 health effectively? Is a bit of a problem.
It's why. I mean, basically, if you let Frieza transform all the way and then you do like a lot of damage, and while doing a lot of damage to him, you basically take out like full character plus a little bit more. But
oh yeah,
it is certainly a bit hard to watch. But I will say, I believe Cold's like biggest standout here in playoffs actually isn't even a member of like their roster permanently. It was King Vegeta.
Yeah, my dear boy, my dear King Vegeta, that we loaned for this season,
and
King Cold.
Yep. I have a feeling they'll want their King Cold back soon.
I mean, they'll get him back. I want my King Vegeta back, so.
You want your?
I think everyone's gonna end up happy.
You want to do your Vegeta plus the Boris squad.
Oh, of course. I need my kings, man.
But no, in all reality, I was not expecting it to be a 2-0 on our end, considering how my team really doesn't do that well with people with teams that can burst us down with ultimates. I
feel like your team in particular, I'm always surprised in previous seasons. I've been surprised by how generally, this is not a slide by the way, but how generally like low your like win-loss records have been, because I feel like your lineup in theory is really, really strong. So this is like the one season where I'm like, oh, finally the the performance reflects the lineup, if you get what I mean.
The performance respects the theory.
Yes. My own opinion, anyways.
Trust me, you're not the only one with that opinion. A lot of the time, my team is always, in theory, we should be one of the strongest teams, but in practice, we're always one of the weakest teams.
Yeah. It is what it is, but honestly, some good matches. Like even though Cold lost, like they did their best.
They actually could have brought it to a round 3 because round 2, it was just Gogeta and Garlic versus Cooler and Frieza, and Cooler and Frieza could have done the ult game.
I mean, yeah, that is true. They always have that option, but there was a lot more health on your team, on Cinema left.
Yeah, no.
Like when they were down to that point.
Yeah, it's just...
It was a bit like an uphill battle for them.
Also, for some reason, my team just loved the tag of this playoffs matches.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes teams just love to tag. Huh?
Yep.
Like just imagine if they tagged as much as they do in SparkingZero.
Oh god.
And gained as much HP. Just imagine.
Oh god. Maybe
the matches would never end.
Yeah, maybe you have to like say no to tank builds.
That is true.
But
we'll figure that out when we get involved with SparkingZero.
We'll figure it out when we get there. Speaking of, hope everyone is liking the SparkingZero renders for these teams. The ones that don't have the SparkingZero renders don't exist in SparkingZero.
I think the renders look really nice. The benefit of a new Dragon Ball game coming out is like new Dragon Ball art, baby.
Yep. So I guess with that, shall we get moving on to our last bundle of matches before we get moving on to predictions?
Let's.
Let's see. With hybrids and Rugrats, I know the one major thing that happened round 1. We had Teen Gohan going, I think, all the way up to SSJ2 from base, and then murdering Rugrats round 1.
Yes, I do believe that we did get to see Gotenks as well. I believe, right?
I don't think we saw it the first round, but I think we definitely did see it the second round.
Okay, as always, first round blurry. So
yeah. Speaking of the second round, this is the only match of the week that I believe is recent memory of us that had to be reset because they accidentally put Teen Gohan in Super Saiyan to start with instead of base form.
Yes, this was caught about like halfway into the match, so a bit unfortunate, but I believe it was in Hybrid's favor.
It was in Hybrid's,
when it happened.
It was in Hybrid's favor anyway, yes. And so, honestly, I think it was even more of a stomp round 2 than it was round 1.
In any case, it's one of those things. Whenever there's a reset, it's hard to imagine, how would it have gone the first match instead?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think, let's go. Hybrids have been surprising to me this season.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is weird because obviously all the Gohan, they're basically a team full of Super Saiyans, and the Super Saiyans have always been like good, in my opinion. But somehow I've always underestimated the hybrids. And then this season they finally got like Sword Trunks working. They have their adult Gohan, which obviously they're FA, but still. So like they're gaming this season. They've got a lot of good things going for them.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's not much to say. Sadly, Goten didn't do much damage before he fused, and he took a lot of damage before he fused. So Gotenks didn't have as much health as he could have.
Yeah, and Trunks did like an incredible job at just like demolishing a lot of. Goten and Gotenks' health.
Yes, he did. But by the way, I did actually. You just reminded me. I did want to say, the biggest surprise this season for me from hybrids has not been like adult Gohan. It has not been the fact that base teen has sometimes been doing well, or Great Saiyaman, or Future. It's been Sword Trunks.
Yeah.
He's been a really consistent member of hybrids this year, and a really strong member at that too, with his like melee spam build.
Yeah, it's been like surprising because he's always been one of their like. I think he's a case similar to how obviously we're just relating it to our own characters, right? But on my team, Deborah,
And like
being like a problem child where we just couldn't get him to work, and then suddenly it clicks, and suddenly they're super good.
And then like my team, Janemba, it's like suddenly it just clicks.
So honestly, great for them that they finally figured out like what makes Sword Trunks tick.
And he's been a real menace.
Yes. If anything, in this last match, just to talk a bit about Rugrats as well, I think the biggest quote unquote disappointment is just that I think Rayleigh really underperformed in the playoff matches compared to what she's known to be able to do. You know, being the demon child and all that. I don't think she did particularly well in these playoff matches, which is a bit unfortunate. Otherwise, it is super neat that we got to see Gotenks in like their last in Rugrats' last official showing. We did get to see Gotenks
their last
doing some stuff, even if they did end up losing in the end.
Yeah, their last hurrah of the 2024 season.
But do you have anything further to say on the match?
No.
Des, you are currently muted, by the way.
I did not mute myself on OBS. I did not mute myself on OBS. They heard all that.
Okay, like on Discord, you muted yourself. So I was just sat here like, what happened? Sorry if I interrupted you since I couldn't hear you. So
No, it's fine. I just said their last hurrah of the 2024 season.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. My dad was talking to me about something. But what is it? Any final thoughts? No, I don't.
On the match?
I don't.
Not really. I think we've been around the block. I think we got to see Gotenks at the end of Rugrats' run. Hybrids finally figured out their Sword Trunks, and they did very well. And yeah.
You have to just remember, this is Hybrids without Ultimate Gohan.
I mean, without Ultimate Gohan, but they have a lot of good Gohans.
Yeah, you might say that they're the Gohans plus Trunks.
Quite literally.
Anyway, yeah, I don't have anything more to say. Honestly, like, yeah, good luck Hybrids, and really good luck next year, Rugrats. Like, I definitely believe in their team.
Oh yeah, they can definitely do good stuff.
All right, with that, shall we get moving on to predictions?
Of course, let's move on.
All right, and we'll be going in a Z order, by the way.
Oh, of course.
So
very fitting, all things considered.
Very fitting. First up, we have Derp and Kaiju, and yeah, to preface this is every team that beat the qualifiers going up against the team who got the buys.
This is an interesting one. So my problem is that I really like Kaiju as a team. I feel like we've got along with Cold, I feel like Kaiju is one of the teams I have like a little bit of a rivalry with. But Derp is just such a strong team this season, and they did so well in their matches. It's called against Muscle. But I think I'm gonna have to give it to Derp.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Dad came in again. What was it?
Oh. Uh, Once again, you are muted on Discord, just in case.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Dad
Yes.
came in again. What
I
happened?
heard. So, all I said was basically that like I have like a friendly rivalry with Kaiju in my own personal optics, but I have to give it to Derp. Derp have had such a good showing this season, especially. So.
Yeah. What is it? I've heard. I think I'll give it to Kaiju actually because I think their tag game plus the fact that you know I think some of their members have been doing actually pretty well, like Kid Goku, um, and Slug. Especially Slug starts tagging can do pretty well. That's not to knock Derp though. Like Derp had an amazing showing during the playoffs. Had a honestly, I don't have much to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kaiju is like a very strong team, but I just Derp has been so good this season, especially Frost being like, for me, the big standout. Obviously, he's the new character, obviously, but still, being like been really a standout performer, especially as their starter. So I'm gonna give it to Derp.
All right, so next up we have ED and Boo Saga. Funny enough, is one of the only two matches that are basically divisionals with 5-man.
True. This is another hard one to evaluate. Because I feel like Boo Saga have done. I don't know. I feel like Boo Saga's performance this season has been like more inconsistent than usual. But it's the Boo Saga, so even when they're inconsistent, they're super strong. And ED is a strong team, but I think that the Doors got this, so I'm gonna give it to Boo Saga.
Yes, and also to clarify to everyone, these are all the home maps of the team on the right. I just didn't switch. So it would be Kaiju's home map first, Boo Saga's home map first, Sentai's, and Royals.
Yeah.
For this next one, honestly, I think it might just go down to the fact of Boo Saga. Boo Saga has a really good 5-man, and ED certainly can have some slip-ups, like Krillin not using After Image Strike, which is honestly would be really good against a lot of like the melee powerhouses from Boo Saga. Mid Goku not really working, stuff like that. I'm gonna have to give it to Boo Saga. I think we'll go to a 2-1 though.
I think that's very likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, with all of the teams that we currently are evaluating, 2-1 is likely. I like none of these matchups. I'm like, oh, obvious stomp. So.
Next we have Sentai versus
Your
Cinema.
match.
And well, I don't know. That's coming out Friday, so I can at least reveal what we're doing for match 1. So for match 1, we are going with Fasha starting with Garlic to Gogeta into Vegeta into Janemba, and because Janemba's not starting, he is getting moved from Aura Change to Focus Shot for his 1 point.
Okay.
Still Broly's weak, by the way.
Oh yeah, makes sense. I think it is a good idea to keep him Broly's ring. to be honest. So, um, Cinema Sentai. Ooh, that's a toughie because Jiren is terrifying.
No, like I can certainly say, if I see a stopping point, it's either here or the next match, like after Sentai for us. But yeah, no, if I were to say for my own, it was going. I just real quick, if I was to say for my own, I would give it to my team, obviously, but I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be hard fought. Because the core of Ultron, Birder, and Jiren is really scary, and especially if not only are you dealing with Ultron being a melee god, but Jiren also wanting to spam that week. Yeah.
I will say that I think the strongest character in this match is Jiren. But I think overall, I like your team better in terms of like how the characters are doing overall, I think. So I think I'm gonna give it to your team actually.
Alright.
Kind of thing where like I feel like I don't know. It's one of those weird things where I feel like it's really, really close. But my gut feeling says that you guys have got at least round one. So
yeah. Yeah, it's like the main thing with Sentai is like you can think of it like a fighting game. Like you have everyone else on Sentai and then their X Factor is Jiren.
Yes, very true. Jiren just comes in and just wrecks the whole shop. So, but yeah, I give it to Cinema. You obviously give it to your own team as well.
I'm actually
shall we move on?
Yeah, I'm giving myself the series, but I would say it's a hard fought one.
I mean, of course.
Okay. Next, we have your team, Royals and Hybrids.
Yeah, well, clearly easy victory. We're gonna steamroll them 2-0. No problem whatsoever. Only one character is ever gonna hit the field, and it's gonna be the easiest games of my life. I'm joking, of course.
You wish.
No, but as much as I'm joking, I'm fairly confident in my team. I'm known to to possess confidence in my team's abilities, as is proven in every single cast when we get to predictions.
I mean, hey, sometimes having a good laugh with it and joking around is sometimes the best confidence your team needs.
Exactly. So I do believe that my team is going to take this. Hybrids is super strong in my opinion right now, especially now that they've figured out Sword Trunks. As far as my lineup goes, since we can reveal some stuff, well, I mean, I'm the only one of the team, so what's it called? We're very standard builds. No, nothing special happening. Starting Deborah, pretty much the builds we've run all season, with Metacooler having, the save Majin Vegeta and Metacooler with the savior, and it being Babidi and Deborah with Master Blast. So,
and then King Cold being King Cold.
King Cold being King Cold, him being the one that has no healing on the team. Yeah, him and Babidi being the ones that have no healing. So, very, very standard fare.
All right, Bobby's gonna go in 1v5 pentakill them.
Oh, of course. Of course.
No,
like Deborah hits the field after 10 seconds, he tags into Babidi wrecks face, and there we go.
Yeah, the only reason why Deborah hits the field is because he's a starter.
That is true. If I didn't have him as a starter, he would never hit the field because my first character wipes the enemy team. So,
but no, like in all seriousness, after thinking about it, like your team, it's your team and Sentai. They're like the two hardest ones to always like pin down. It's like you, Sentai, and Muscle are always like the three that are hard to pin down because like Muscle just does whatever they want. Sentai has Jiren. Your team exists.
You know what? That's an apt description.
Like you went what 13 13-2 in main season.
Yes.
And that's with a 4-man. That's already a pretty powerful 4-man. Then you just add the 5th character on. I'm pretty sure hasn't been doing bad, because I don't think you've had a bad character this season.
No real bad characters. I believe everyone on my team is. Did someone drop below 40k? Okay, Babidi dropped below 40k after like the last week, I think.
Well, yeah, he was an all-star.
But he was also an all-stars because he was 50k at one point. So
yeah, like Babidi at 50k. But I think if there is a team that could take you down, it is Hybrids. But I'm going to say it's probably a 2-1 in your favor, because I mean Deborah plus Majin Vegeta are already pretty hard to go with, like against, and then you have like Babidi who's been like performing like over what you think he would be. Mostly. But you have Meta Cooler, which is a pretty disruptive character because he's an android. You normally build him so he normally wants to, spam those finger blitz. And King Cold does like to stay on the field for a while, even without healing.
Yeah, like even the weeks where he hasn't had healing, he's been on field like a long time. Like King Cold has been pretty consistent this season.
I would say.
So, yeah.
I would definitely say Hybrids has the burst damage to take down people from your team. With like
I agree with that. Hybrids has the way more burst.
Yeah, with like Sword Trunks, all adult Gohans, B2s.
I think the burstiest character in the match is Majin Vegeta, but their team overall has more burst. So.
Yeah, like individually, I think it's either Majin Vegeta or it's adult Gohan, but their team has more of the explosive power, while your team has staying power.
Yes.
Anyway,
I would agree with that.
So that's a 2-0 for Royals. 2-0 in terms of predictions, not 2-0 in terms of.
Of course.
So with that, we shall be at the end of the Capsule cast. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to check out the Discord, website, Twitter, and TikTok in the description below. Don't forget to check out the Twitch. I know he's had some problems with it recently, but so probably still trying to figure out everything. Make sure to comment for any improvements you can do for the cast. Make sure to like if you did like it. If you did like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell below. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been your host Destiny, signing off.
And this has been your co-host Fathappy.
Yep. And we'll be seeing you next time. And happy Halloween.